Put salt in this corner of your house if you want to be rich. Buddhist teachings. If you want to change the world, start by changing the energy in your home. Did you know that something as simple as salt can attract prosperity into your life? It may sound like an old myth, but for centuries, salt has been revered not only for its practical uses, but also for its spiritual powers. From ancient traditions to Buddhist teachings, salt has been seen as a powerful tool to purify and transform energy. Once valued as highly as gold, salt was used to balance energies, protect spaces, and even attract wealth. In today's video, we'll explore why placing salt in certain corners of your house could potentially bring abundance and harmony into your life. Welcome to the journey of wisdom, where ancient practices meet modern understanding. Let's dive into how you can harness this simple yet powerful element to invite prosperity and peace into your home. Number 1. The hidden powers of salt. Salt is more than just a common seasoning. It holds spiritual significance across many of the world's major religions and cultures. It has been revered for centuries as a symbol of purity, protection, and spiritual cleansing. Now we'll explore the hidden powers of salt and how you can use this everyday item to attract positive energy, wealth, and peace into your home and life. You might be surprised by how something so simple can have such a profound impact. 1. Salt in religious and cultural traditions. To understand the spiritual importance of salt, we need to look back through history. Did you know that many religions regard salt as sacred? In Christianity, Jesus mentioned salt multiple times, over 40 times in the Bible, often using it as a metaphor for purity and faithfulness. Salt plays a role in the Catholic Church's ritual of creating holy water, a symbol of cleansing and protection. In Jewish tradition, salt represents a covenant with God, symbolizing a lasting, unbreakable bond. For Hindus, salt is believed to be an essential part of the journey toward enlightenment, often used in rituals for purification. The ancient Romans also saw salt as a symbol of a clean and pure life. But it's not just religion where salt's power is acknowledged. In ancient Egypt, salt was burned before important journeys to protect the pharaohs from evil spirits. This belief in salt's protective properties has lasted through the ages, as many cultures continue to use it as a defense against negative energy. In Japan, you can even see salt sprinkled in sumo wrestling to cleanse the ring of bad energy before a match. And in Buddhism, 2. Salt's healing powers. Connecting to nature's energy. It's fascinating to realize that cultures from all over the world have discovered the healing and protective power of salt. But this isn't just a thing of the past. Today, you can use salt in your home to ward off negativity and attract wealth and harmony. When you grasp the power of this practice, you'll want to incorporate it into your life immediately. One of the most amazing aspects of salt is its natural structure. Picture this. If you were to look at salt crystals under a microscope, you'd find beautifully aligned geometric patterns. These sacred geometries aren't just in salt, they exist in nature everywhere, from seashells to the pyramids of Egypt. These patterns hold a special kind of energy, a link to the universe's deep mysteries. Even Leonardo da Vinci was captivated by sacred geometry, and now you can tap into that same power simply through salt. 3. The power of negative ions. Now, let's dive into another remarkable feature of salt, its ability to produce negative ions. Have you ever felt incredibly relaxed and peaceful while walking along the beach? That's because the air is full of negative ions, which are known to improve your mood and reduce stress. Salt can generate these ions, creating an environment in your home that fosters relaxation and peace of mind. When salt dissolves, it releases negative ions into the air. These ions help clean the air, removing harmful particles and boosting your mental health. Negative ions can even help increase the production of serotonin, the chemical in your brain responsible for happiness and well-being. No wonder so many people love having Himalayan salt lamps in their homes. They not only look beautiful, but also contribute to a peaceful atmosphere. Research shows that negative ions can act as a natural antidepressant, improving mood and lowering stress levels. Isn't it incredible that something as simple as salt can have such a powerful effect on your mental health? Number 2. Using salt to change your life. I could go on forever about all the benefits of salt, from its spiritual significance to its ability to improve our health and well-being. But the main takeaway is this: salt has the power to change your life. When you strategically place salt in certain areas of your home, you create a barrier against negative energy and open the door to positive forces such as wealth, happiness, and peace. If you're looking for ways to improve your life, protect your space, and invite good fortune, try using salt. It's easy, affordable, and has been proven throughout history to work wonders. 1. Clear away negative energy with salt and water. In today's fast-paced life, we often accumulate not only mental stress, but also negative energy around our living spaces. Sometimes you might feel that your home's atmosphere becomes heavy, draining, or tense. When this happens, there's a simple yet highly effective cleansing method from Buddhism that you can try, using salt and water to dispel negative energy and bring peace to your home. First, you'll need a clear glass. Fill the glass about 2/3 full with sea salt and then fill the rest with water. Both salt and water are natural elements commonly used in various cleansing rituals, not only in Buddhism, but in many other cultures as well. Salt is considered a powerful purifier, capable of absorbing and neutralizing negative energy, while water symbolizes freshness and purity. Once you've prepared your glass of salt and water, place it in a corner or area of your home where you sense the presence of negative energy. This might be a place where you often feel tired, stressed, or where the atmosphere seems heavier than in other parts of your home. After placing the glass of salt and water, leave it undisturbed for at least 24 hours. During this time, the salt and water will work to cleanse the energy in the space. After 24 hours, check the water. If it remains clear, that's a good sign. It means that the negative energy in that area has been neutralized. However, if the water becomes cloudy or changes color, don't be alarmed. This just means that some negative energy is still lingering. Simply repeat the process. Discard the old water and salt, rinse the glass, and refill it with fresh salt and water. Continue this process every 24 to 48 hours until the water in the glass stays clear. At this point, you'll know that the negative energy has been fully cleared. This method is not just about placing salt and water in a corner. It's also an opportunity to practice patience and mindfulness. Take time to observe and pay attention to the subtle changes in your living environment. By focusing on the process, you will gradually notice a shift in the way you feel about your space. Your mind becomes lighter, and a sense of peace slowly spreads throughout your home. Perseverance is key. Just like in life, our efforts don't always yield immediate results. But with patience and mindfulness, we can gradually cleanse and refresh not only our living spaces, but also our inner selves. Cleansing your space with salt and water is a wonderful way to restore balance in your home. A clean, energetically balanced space helps you feel more relaxed, reduces stress, and brings a sense of calm from within. If you try this method and notice positive changes, we encourage you to share your experience with the community. We would love to hear your thoughts and feedback in the comments below the video. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive more tips and valuable insights about life, Buddhism, and how to create a peaceful, harmonious living space. In modern life, finding peace and positive energy can sometimes feel more difficult than ever. But with simple and easy-to-apply methods like using salt and water, you can bring about a positive transformation not only in your living environment, but also within your soul. Try it today and experience the difference that a little patience and mindfulness can make. 2. Salt in the corners of your home. In the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, it's easy to let stress, anxiety, and negative energy build up in our homes. Our living spaces should be places of peace, where we can relax and recharge, but often they end up absorbing all the tension we carry with us. Fortunately, there is an ancient practice that offers a simple yet powerful way to cleanse your space and invite harmony: placing salt in the corners of your home. For centuries, cultures around the world have believed in the purifying power of salt. In Buddhism and many other spiritual traditions, salt is thought to act as a natural purifier, capable of absorbing negative energy from your surroundings. When you sprinkle salt in the corners of your rooms, it doesn't just sit there. It works quietly, soaking up the stress, unresolved emotions, and unwanted energy that may be lingering in your space. Imagine coming home after a long day and feeling an instant sense of calm as you walk through the door. By simply placing salt in the corners of your home, you can begin to transform your living space into a sanctuary, a place where you feel safe, relaxed, and surrounded by positive energy. This ritual encourages peace and inner harmony, allowing you to let go of the negativity that may be weighing you down. The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require any special tools or complicated steps. All you need is some salt and the intention to create a more peaceful environment. Over time, you'll likely notice a subtle shift in the atmosphere of your home. The air will feel lighter, the space more vibrant, and your mind more at ease. So why not give it a try? Take a few moments to sprinkle salt in the corners of your rooms and allow its natural cleansing properties to work their magic. You might be surprised by how much more connected you feel to the positive energy around you. As you begin to notice the positive effects of this practice, we encourage you to share your thoughts with us. Have you experienced a difference in your home's energy? How has this simple ritual impacted your daily life? Feel free to leave your comments below, and don't forget to follow our channel for more insightful teachings and tips to help you create a life filled with peace and harmony. By incorporating this small act into your routine, you can create a space that truly nurtures your spirit and supports your well-being. This simple salt ritual is a reminder that even the smallest actions can have a profound impact on our lives. We hope this practice brings you the sense of calm and richness you seek, both in your home and in your heart. 3. Protect your home by placing salt at the door. The entrance to your home is more than just a physical doorway. It's the gateway for energy, both positive and negative. In many traditions, including some interpretations of Buddhist teachings, placing a pinch of salt at your front door holds symbolic meaning. While it may seem like a small, simple act, this ritual has a powerful purpose. Salt, one of the most natural and ancient substances, is believed to create an invisible shield that blocks negative energy from entering your home. But more than that, it does something truly special. It invites positive energy to flow into your living space, promoting peace, prosperity, and happiness. This practice not only guards against harmful influences, but also enhances the good energy that helps create a harmonious environment in your life. But why salt, you might ask? Salt has long been valued across cultures for its purifying qualities. It represents purity, clarity, and protection, both physically and spiritually. From a practical standpoint, salt absorbs negative energy, but it also has the power to amplify positive energy. Think about it. Just as salt has preserved food for centuries, ensuring its longevity and goodness, it can also preserve the harmony and peace of your home. This is more than a superstition, it's a practice of mindfulness. When you place salt at your door, you are setting an intention for the kind of energy you want to welcome into your life. Have you ever considered what kind of energy surrounds your home right now? How much of it is bringing you joy, and how much might be weighing you down? By performing this simple act, you make a conscious decision to protect your space and invite only what nourishes your soul. Buddha once said, "Just as a solid rock is not shaken by the storm, even so the wise are not affected by praise or blame." Like that solid rock, the salt at your door acts as a firm but invisible barrier, grounding your home in calmness no matter what chaos may be outside. This brings us to a deeper understanding. It's not just about blocking out the bad, it's also about nurturing the good. The energy we surround ourselves with has a profound effect on our thoughts, emotions, and well-being. Have you ever walked into a space and felt an immediate sense of peace or alternatively discomfort? That is the power of energy. Our homes should be sanctuaries where we feel at ease, where positivity flows freely, and where we are shielded from negativity. In this sense, placing salt at your door is an act of self-care as much as it is a protective ritual. It's about creating a mindful space that supports your spiritual and emotional well-being. The beauty of this practice lies in its simplicity, yet it serves as a reminder of something much greater: the importance of the energy we allow into our lives. When we take these small, intentional steps, we are actively choosing peace and harmony over chaos and imbalance. Isn't that what we all seek in our homes and our lives? So the next time you step through your front door, pause for a moment. What kind of energy do you want to carry with you? What are you inviting into your space? By placing salt at your doorstep, you are making a powerful statement about the life you wish to live. A life filled with peace, protection, and positivity. And in doing so, you are not only aligning yourself with ancient wisdom, but also with the timeless Buddhist teaching that emphasizes the importance of mindful actions. Small steps like this remind us to be present, to be intentional, and to create the kind of energy that uplifts not just ourselves, but everyone around us. What energy will you welcome into your home today? Do you believe that placing salt at your door could invite more positive energy into your home and life? Comment yes if you're ready to try this mindful practice, or comment number 1 if you've already done something similar to protect your space. 4. Enhance focus with salt on your desk. In today's fast-paced and high-pressure work environments, finding ways to stay focused and maintain a calm, productive atmosphere can feel like an ongoing challenge. Many of us, especially men aged 30 to 65 who are balancing careers, family responsibilities, and personal aspirations, know that the stresses of modern life can sometimes make it difficult to concentrate. But there's a simple, ancient practice that can help transform the energy around you: placing a small bowl of salt on your desk. While this might seem like an odd or insignificant action at first glance, the symbolism and practical benefits behind it are profound. Salt, which has been used for centuries in various spiritual and cultural practices, is not only a purifier but also an energy stabilizer. It works to cleanse the surrounding space of negative or stagnant energy, allowing for a more focused, positive atmosphere. This can be particularly beneficial in your workspace, where the weight of stress, deadlines, and mental clutter often accumulates. By placing salt on your desk, you are taking an intentional step to clear that clutter, not just physically, but energetically as well. Buddha once said, "Your work is to discover your world, and then with all your heart give yourself to it." In this light, keeping your workspace energetically clean is more than just a symbolic gesture. It's an act of dedication to your work and your own mental well-being. This practice allows you to create an environment where focus, clarity, and creativity can thrive. When the energy around you is balanced, it becomes easier to think clearly, make decisions, and even find inspiration in moments of stress. Have you ever noticed how difficult it is to focus in a cluttered or chaotic environment? That's not just a result of physical disorganization, it's also the energetic chaos that disrupts your mental flow. Salt helps to absorb this chaotic energy, leaving your mind free to focus on what truly matters. Think of it like this. Just as we rely on salt to enhance the flavor of food, we can use it to enhance the quality of the energy around us. This small but powerful tool can transform the way you approach your work. In a world where multitasking is often celebrated, this practice invites you to embrace mindfulness and single-pointed focus. How often do we find ourselves pulled in multiple directions, trying to tackle everything at once, only to realize that we've achieved very little? By placing a bowl of salt on your desk, you're making a conscious effort to declutter, not just your physical space but also your mind, helping you prioritize and approach tasks with greater clarity. This practice is especially relevant in today's digital world, where distractions are always just a click away. It's easy to lose focus when emails, notifications, and social media are constantly vying for your attention. But what if your workspace could be a sanctuary of peace and concentration, free from these interruptions? Salt can help create that environment by keeping the energy calm and balanced, allowing you to approach your work with a clear mind. As the famous Zen saying goes, "When you do something, you should burn yourself up completely, like a good bonfire, leaving no trace of yourself." This is the essence of focus, giving your full attention to the task at hand without being swayed by distractions or mental clutter. Incorporating this small ritual into your daily routine is not only about improving focus, it's about setting the stage for success in all areas of your life. When you work in an environment that supports clarity and creativity, that positive energy extends beyond your desk. It influences how you interact with colleagues, how you solve problems, and even how you feel at the end of the day. This simple act of placing salt on your desk can help you cultivate a space where ideas flow freely, stress is minimized, and productivity is maximized. In the end, it's not just about doing more, it's about doing better. So, why not take a moment to cleanse your workspace and invite success into your professional life? What could you achieve if your mind were truly free to focus on what matters most? 5. Salt under the doormat, a shield of protection. One subtle yet powerful way to protect your home from negative energy is by placing salt under your doormat. This practice may seem simple, but its effects can be profound. Salt, often viewed as a symbol of purification, has been used for centuries in various spiritual traditions to cleanse and ward off negativity. When placed under your doormat, the salt serves as an energetic filter, helping to trap any negative energy that may be clinging to you as you return home from the outside world. Think about it. How often do we carry the stress, frustration, and tension of the day with us as we cross the threshold into our homes? Whether it's a difficult day at work, a frustrating commute, or simply the weight of everyday life, negative energy tends to stick to us, affecting our mood and the atmosphere of our living spaces. By using salt as a barrier, you can leave that negativity at the door, creating a more peaceful and positive environment within your home. This practice is not just about the physical act of placing salt, it's about intention. When you take a moment to place salt under your doormat, you are making a conscious decision to protect your home and maintain its energy as a sanctuary. As Buddha wisely said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. This method aligns perfectly with that teaching, reminding us that the energy we bring into our homes has a direct impact on our sense of peace and well-being. Your home should be a place of calm and comfort, where you can recharge and feel grounded. By placing salt under your doormat, you create a protective shield, ensuring that the outside world's chaos doesn't follow you in. Have you ever noticed how the energy of a space changes depending on what we bring into it? When we enter our homes burdened by stress or negative emotions, it can affect not only our own mood, but also the mood of those we share the space with. The salt under the doormat acts as a safeguard, helping to prevent those heavy emotions from seeping into the environment. What if every time you stepped inside, you could instantly release the negativity of the day and embrace the positive, tranquil energy of your home? This practice offers exactly that opportunity, a way to create a mindful transition between the external world and your personal space. Moreover, this simple method serves as a reminder to approach your home with care and respect for its energy. Just as you wouldn't bring physical dirt into your house without wiping your shoes, why bring in emotional or energetic dirt? The salt under your doormat is like wiping your energetic shoes clean. It's a symbolic act, yes, but one with real benefits. By making it a habit, you can cultivate a home environment that nurtures peace, prosperity, and emotional balance. After all, protecting your space from negative energy is not just about keeping bad vibes out. It's about inviting good energy in. In today's world, where stress seems to follow us everywhere, this small act of protection can make a big difference. So ask yourself, what kind of energy do you want to welcome into your home? What are you doing to ensure your living space is a true sanctuary from the pressures of life? By placing salt under your doormat, you take an easy yet effective step toward maintaining a positive and harmonious home environment. It's a simple practice, but sometimes the smallest actions can have the biggest impact. Will you take this step to shield your home from negativity and invite peace in today? 6. Purify the bathroom with salt. The bathroom is often the most neglected space in our homes, yet it plays a significant role in our daily routines. After long, exhausting days filled with stress, tension, and negative emotions, the bathroom can become a repository for this stagnant energy, a place where the burdens of the day seem to linger. Just as we use the bathroom to cleanse ourselves physically, it is equally important to consider how we can use this space for emotional and spiritual renewal. One simple yet profound practice for purifying this often overlooked sanctuary is the use of salt. Salt, in many cultures and traditions, has long been revered for its ability to absorb negativity and cleanse both physical and energetic spaces. By placing a jar of salt in your bathroom, you invite an ancient practice into your modern life, one that promotes harmony, relaxation, and positive energy. This practice can transform your bathroom from a mere functional space into a sacred one, a space where you can release not only the physical grime of the day, but also the emotional weight you carry. Salt, in its pure form, is believed to be a powerful agent for grounding and absorbing unwanted energies. A simple jar of salt is a reminder that even the smallest changes can create ripples of transformation in our lives. By absorbing negative energy, salt clears the air in a way that leaves the space feeling lighter, fresher, and more welcoming. It is a gesture of care, a way to honor the sacredness of even the most mundane aspects of life. This act of adding salt to your bathroom isn't just about cleanliness in the physical sense. It's about fostering a space where your spirit can breathe freely. The bathroom, though often underappreciated, is a place where we can practice mindfulness, even in the simple act of washing our hands or taking a shower. As Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh often reminded us, drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the world Earth revolves. In this same way, you can approach your bathroom routine with mindfulness, allowing the salt to absorb not just the moisture in the air, but also the stress from your mind and body. This shift from treating your bathroom as a merely functional space to seeing it as a place for emotional detoxification mirrors the deeper Buddhist understanding of mindfulness in every action. By taking the time to purify your bathroom with salt, you set the intention that this space is more than just a room for personal hygiene. It becomes a sanctuary for mental and spiritual clarity. In a world where we are constantly bombarded by external demands and distractions, creating spaces of peace within our homes is crucial for maintaining balance and inner harmony. As you begin to see the effects of this small change, a room that feels lighter, more refreshing, and energetically clear, you may start to realize that even the smallest actions in your home can have a profound impact on your overall well-being. This practice of purifying your bathroom with salt can be seen as a metaphor for life. Just as we need to cleanse our physical bodies, we also need to cleanse our minds and environments from the negative energies that accumulate over time. In this sense, the salt represents a tool for renewal, a way to refresh not only the air, but your spirit as well. As we learn from the Buddhist teachings, let go of the past, let go of the future, let go of the present, go beyond becoming. By using salt to cleanse your bathroom, you are creating a fresh start, a space where both your mind and body can find peace and renewal, which is essential in our fast-paced modern world. In conclusion, something as simple as placing a jar of salt in your bathroom can have a significant impact on your mental and spiritual health. It encourages mindfulness, purifies your space, and transforms a mundane room into a sanctuary for emotional cleansing. In our busy lives, finding moments of peace and quiet is essential for maintaining balance, and this small act can serve as a daily reminder of the importance of inner harmony. If you've made it this far, you're already unlocking the power of Buddhist wisdom to bring abundance into your life. Comment below with rich mindset to affirm your commitment to this transformative journey. Don't miss out. There's still so much more to discover in this video. Stay until the end to learn how this simple salt practice can help attract wealth and prosperity into your home. 7. Salt in the kitchen, the heart of the home. The kitchen is much more than just a space for cooking. It's the very heart of your home. It's where family members gather, where love is shared through the meals you prepare, and where both physical and emotional nourishment takes place. In many ways, the energy in your kitchen directly impacts the energy of your entire household. That's why keeping this space clean, not just physically but energetically, is so important for the well-being of everyone who lives under your roof. One simple yet powerful way to ensure your kitchen is filled with positive energy is by placing a bowl of salt in a corner of the kitchen. Salt, in many cultures and spiritual practices, is known for its ability to cleanse and purify. It absorbs negative energy, leaving behind only the positive vibes that help your household thrive. By taking this small step, you can transform the energy of your kitchen, making it a place where not only delicious meals are made, but where joy, love, and prosperity flow freely. Imagine stepping into a kitchen that feels light and vibrant, a place where every dish you prepare is infused with positive energy. This energy nourishes not just the body, but the soul. When the heart of your home, your kitchen, is filled with this kind of harmony, it radiates throughout the house, impacting everyone in the family. The meals you prepare become more than just food. They become a source of health and happiness for those you love. Taking the time to balance the energy in your kitchen is not just about improving the space. It's about creating a joyful and supportive environment for everyone who enters it. By simply placing a bowl of salt in the kitchen, you can enhance the flow of positive energy in your home, ensuring that both your body and spirit are nourished in the most meaningful way. As you go about your day, remember that small mindful actions like this can have a big impact on your life. So why not give it a try? You might be surprised at how this simple practice can create a ripple effect of positivity throughout your home and your life. 8. Salt in your shoes. Protection on the go. A unique method to shield yourself from negative energy is to sprinkle a bit of salt in your shoes. As you go about your day, you may unknowingly pick up negative energy from your surroundings. Salt helps to purify and protect you from this, creating an invisible barrier that ensures negativity doesn't affect your mood or well-being. With salt in your shoes, you can move through the day with a sense of peace and protection, leaving negativity behind. Incorporating these simple yet powerful salt practices into your daily life can help cleanse and protect your home from negative energy, while also bringing peace, harmony, and prosperity into your living space. Whether you're placing salt in the corners of your house, under the doormat, or even in your shoes, each action has a purpose: cleansing your surroundings and promoting positive energy. Remember, these practices work best when done with intention and mindfulness. By being conscious of the energy in your home and taking steps to purify it, you can create a more peaceful and prosperous life. 9 stories of salt, tales of purity, power, and transformation. 9 stories about the wonders of salt takes us on a fascinating journey through history, culture, and spirituality, revealing the extraordinary power of this simple substance. From sacred rituals in Japanese sumo to Gandhi's non-violent resistance, from ancient Egyptian beliefs to Norse mythology, each story demonstrates that salt is far more than a seasoning. It is a symbol of purity, resilience, and connection to the greater forces of life. As we explore these tales, we learn that the value of salt transcends its physical properties, offering deep lessons about love, integrity, and the transformative power of small, humble actions. Just as salt preserves life and brings out the richness of food, these stories enrich our understanding of what truly sustains us in both our personal and collective journeys. Whether it's the purification of the sumo ring or the simple act of sharing bread and salt in friendship, we are reminded that life's most essential elements often lie in the things we take for granted. Let us embrace these lessons, finding strength in the ordinary and recognizing that even the smallest acts, like a grain of salt, can hold profound meaning. Story number 1. Salt and Purification Ritual in Japanese Sumo. In Japan, sumo wrestling is more than just a traditional sport. It is also a sacred ritual and a profound cultural symbol. Each match is carefully prepared, following strict rules and ancient customs that have been passed down through generations. Among these rituals, the act of sprinkling salt onto the ring holds special significance, symbolizing the purification of the space and offering spiritual protection before the contest begins. Sumo's origins trace back thousands of years to religious ceremonies at Shinto shrines, the primary faith in Japan. In its earliest form, sumo was performed to honor the gods, seeking their favor for abundant harvests, good weather, and peace for the people. As time passed, sumo evolved into Japan's national sport, but the sacred rituals have always remained an integral part of the matches, preserving their spiritual roots. One of the key elements in these pre-match rituals is the use of salt, which symbolizes purification of the ring, driving away evil spirits and bringing good fortune to the wrestlers. Before each match, spectators witness a familiar sight. The powerful wrestlers, dressed in mawashi, a traditional belt, step confidently into the ring. With a sense of reverence, they perform a series of ritual movements, including taking a handful of pure white salt and scattering it across the ring. Why salt? In Japanese culture, salt has long been revered as a potent agent of purification. Beyond its use in preserving food, it is seen as a symbol of purity and sanctity. Within Shinto practices, salt is commonly used to cleanse sacred spaces, dispel negative energy, and protect from spiritual impurities. Whether in everyday rituals at shrines or major life events such as weddings and funerals, salt plays a central role as a cleansing agent. In sumo, the sprinkling of salt serves a similar purpose. Each match is not only a test of physical strength, but also a spiritual encounter. The sumo ring is viewed as a sacred space, akin to a temporary shrine where wrestlers strive not only for victory but also to honor the gods. By scattering salt before the match, they purify this sacred ground, ensuring a clean and protected environment for their competition. Before the bout begins, the wrestlers go through a series of ritualistic motions, including raising their legs and stomping forcefully on the ground, a gesture intended to banish evil spirits and cleanse the ring. Afterward, they take a large handful of salt and spread it over the ring, showing respect to their opponent and to the noble spirit of competition. The white grains of salt not only serve to ward off malevolent forces, but are also believed to bring good luck, helping the wrestlers achieve a focused and calm mindset before the match. Sumo is a sport that values not only physical prowess, but also the virtues of integrity and discipline. A skilled sumo wrestler must possess not only technical mastery, but also strong moral character, showing respect for their opponent and demonstrating humility in the face of victory or defeat. The ritual of sprinkling salt before the match serves as a reminder for wrestlers to purify their hearts and minds, keeping their spirits clean before entering into intense competition. A well-known story involving salt in sumo centers around the legendary wrestler Yokozuna Hakuho, who held the record for the most victories in sumo history. Hakuho was celebrated not only for his incredible strength and exceptional technique, but also for the care and respect he demonstrated during his pre-match rituals. He consistently performed the purification movements with great attention, sprinkled salt, and showed deep respect for both the ring and his opponent. This dedication to tradition earned him admiration from fellow wrestlers, fans, and sumo professionals alike. Hakuho once remarked, "Sumo is not just about winning, it's about respecting the ring, your opponent, and yourself." Sumo, at its core, is a sport of honor, and every wrestler is taught that it's not merely about personal glory, but about upholding tradition and embodying the values of respect and humility. In every match, salt plays a crucial role as a symbol of purification and protection, reminding wrestlers of the importance of maintaining a pure spirit and honesty in every move they make, whether in their punches or their steps. Lesson from the story. The use of salt in sumo is more than just a ceremonial act. It carries a profound message of purification, protection, and respect. For the wrestlers, the salt represents their dedication to maintaining discipline, honor, and a pure spirit, not just in competition, but in life. The ritual of sprinkling salt serves as a reminder that purity of intention and respect for others are at the core of this ancient practice. In sumo, every grain of salt becomes a symbol of clarity and focus, helping the wrestlers cleanse the space and prepare mentally for the challenges ahead. Hakuho, a legendary yokozuna, famously embodied this principle by saying, "Sumo is not just about winning, it's about respecting the ring, your opponent, and yourself." This speaks to a larger truth that transcends the sport itself. In our daily lives, we face countless battles, whether they be personal, professional, or emotional. Just as the sumo wrestlers purify their ring before a match, we too can benefit from rituals or practices that cleanse our minds and hearts before confronting the obstacles before us. This purification can come in many forms, whether it's through mindfulness, self-reflection, or simply taking a moment to reset our intentions. As Buddha once said, "A disciplined mind brings happiness." This principle of mental discipline and purity is something that we can carry into all aspects of life, reminding us to approach every challenge with integrity and respect. The salt, though small and simple, carries great power in its symbolism, just as small acts of kindness, respect, and mindfulness in our lives can have significant impacts. In a fast-paced, competitive world, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. However, the lesson from sumo is clear. Success isn't just measured by victory, but by how we conduct ourselves along the way. Whether in a career, relationships, or personal growth, we should strive to maintain a spirit of purity and respect, remembering that true strength comes not only from physical prowess or technical skill, but from the quality of our character. Just like in sumo, where the ritual of salt ensures that the wrestlers enter the ring with clear minds and pure hearts, we too can incorporate practices in our daily lives to remind us of the importance of honesty, humility, and respect for others and ourselves. Story number 2. The Mystery of Salt Grains. In a small, secluded town nestled among the hills stood an old house surrounded by flourishing greenery. The house was home to Mrs. Helen, a vibrant woman over 80 years of age, known throughout the town for her wisdom. People often sought her advice, especially when it came to cleansing the soul and protecting their homes from bad fortune. One day, a young woman named Emily from the town, burdened with sadness and anxiety, visited Mrs. Helen. Her family had recently been plagued by a string of misfortunes, and it seemed as though a dark cloud hung over their home. Not knowing where else to turn, Emily sought Mrs. Helen's guidance. Mrs. Helen greeted Emily warmly, inviting her to sit at the kitchen table. She reached for an old jar of sea salt from a shelf, explaining how it had been passed down through generations. "Cleansing," Mrs. Helen said gently, "involves not only the soul, but also the space you live in. Salt is one of the oldest remedies for dispelling negative energy. Every grain has the power to draw in and remove that which is harmful." Emily watched as the elderly woman placed a clear glass on the table, filling it 2/3 with sea salt, and then topped it up with water. "Place this glass in the most troubled area of your home," Mrs. Helen instructed softly. "Leave it undisturbed for 24 hours. If the water remains clear, it means the negative energy has passed. But if it turns cloudy, repeat the process until the water stays clear." Following these instructions, Emily returned home and set the glass in the corner of the living room, where the atmosphere had felt especially heavy. Over the next day, she noticed a subtle shift in the house's energy. When she checked the glass, the water had become cloudy. Remembering Mrs. Helen's words, Emily didn't worry, deciding to repeat the process until the water stayed clear. Over the next few days, she continued to change the salt and water, each time with hopeful anticipation. On the third attempt, the water remained clear, and at the same time, the oppressive mood in the house lifted. Her family felt lighter, and the dark presence seemed to fade away. Grateful for the transformation, Emily hurried back to thank Mrs. Helen, but when she arrived at the house, she found it locked and abandoned. The neighbors told her that Mrs. Helen had left town many years ago, and some even said she had passed away long ago. Astonished, Emily discovered that the house had been empty for years, though occasionally people reported an old woman offering advice to those in need. Realizing she had been helped by a spirit, Emily was filled with awe. She returned home, filled with gratitude, and continued using the salt method to maintain peace in her home and her heart. Each time she saw the glass of salt in the corner, Emily thought of Mrs. Helen, the wise, mysterious woman who had forever changed her life. Lesson from the story. The story teaches us that true healing and cleansing come from both within and the environment around us. Just as salt purifies physical spaces, we too can cleanse our minds and hearts by being mindful of the energy we surround ourselves with. Sometimes the weight we carry is not just personal, but tied to the atmosphere of our surroundings. The mysterious appearance of Mrs. Helen reminds us that guidance and wisdom can come from unexpected sources, even beyond the material world. When we open ourselves to the process of healing and patiently work towards clarity, we can dispel negativity and restore peace to our lives. The story also highlights the importance of persistence. Just as Emily continued the salt ritual until the water stayed clear, we must continue our efforts in life until we achieve balance and harmony. In essence, the story encourages us to trust in the unseen, to keep our spaces and spirits clear, and to remember that wisdom, once received, can leave a lasting, transformative impact. Story number 3. Salt and the Slavonic Customs of Friendship. In the vast regions of Eastern Europe, nestled between expansive grasslands and towering mountains, the small villages of Russia, Poland, Ukraine and Belarus hold a special tradition, welcoming esteemed guests with bread and salt. This practice is more than just a ritual of hospitality. It serves as a sacred symbol of friendship, peace and trust. The story takes us back to the Middle Ages, when Slavic communities lived primarily through agriculture and livestock. Their lives were closely tied to nature and the changing seasons, so they held great respect for simple yet meaningful customs. In their culture, bread was essential for survival, as it provided the primary source of sustenance. Salt, on the other hand, stood for purity, eternity, and unwavering commitment. In one such Slavic village lived a poor but well-loved family, known for their generosity and warm hospitality. Ivan and Maria led a simple life, working hard in their fields each day. Although they had little, they were always ready to share what they had with anyone in need. They often reminded their children and grandchildren, "A good friend is like salt, humble yet essential in life." One particularly harsh winter, with snow blanketing the fields and covering the trees, Ivan's family was gathered by the warmth of the fire when a weary traveler knocked on their door. He was a merchant, far from home, who had lost his way in a fierce blizzard. Exhausted and shivering from the cold, he humbly asked for warmth and something to eat. Without a moment's hesitation, Ivan and Maria welcomed the stranger as an honored guest. They set before him a fragrant loaf of bread and a small dish of pure white salt, the finest offerings they had. With a smile, Maria said, "We don't have much, but bread and salt represent our hospitality. please sit with us and share a meal?" The merchant, touched by their generosity, asked, "Why is salt so important in your customs?" Ivan responded, "In our land, salt is more than a seasoning. It stands for trust and lasting friendship. When we share bread and salt with someone, we're offering not just a meal, but a promise that from now on we consider that person a friend. Just as bread sustains us, salt preserves all that is sacred and meaningful." The merchant listened, deeply moved by the sincerity of Ivan's words. He realized that what he was receiving was not just food and shelter from a poor peasant family, but a heartfelt invitation to friendship. After their meal, the merchant stayed the night in their humble but warm home, and by morning, when the storm had passed, he thanked them and continued his journey. Years went by, and the merchant, through hard work and cleverness, became both wealthy and powerful. Yet he never forgot that winter night when Ivan's family offered him not only their food, but also their kindness and friendship. One day, he returned to that small village, bringing gold and valuable gifts to show his gratitude to Ivan and Maria. But when he arrived, he learned that the couple had passed away, leaving only their children in the old family home. Standing before their house, the merchant, his heart full of emotion, spoke to their children. "Your parents may not have been rich in material wealth, but they left you a treasure far greater than gold or silver. They taught me the true worth of bread and salt, of friendship, loyalty, and trust." He set the precious gifts before them and added, "I am not here to repay a debt, but to honor the friendship your parents offered me. Take these gifts, but always remember, love and kindness are life's most priceless treasures." From that day on, Ivan's family was not only rich in material wealth, but also in spirit. They knew that no matter what challenges life brought, the values represented by bread and salt would always help them form meaningful connections with those around them, filled with love and gratitude. Story number 4. Salt and Gandhi's Fight for Freedom. In 1930, India was under the oppressive rule of the British Empire, and the atmosphere was heavy with tension and despair. The Indian people endured great hardship, facing exploitation and severe laws, compounded by heavy taxes. Among these, the salt tax was especially resented. It seemed unjust, as salt was an abundant natural resource in India, yet the British had monopolized its production and sale. Although India's coasts were rich with natural salt, the Indian people were prohibited from harvesting or producing it. Instead, they were forced to purchase salt at exorbitant prices from the colonial government, despite it being a daily necessity in their lives. This added to their misery and deepened their discontent with British rule. Mahatma Gandhi, the revered spiritual and political leader of India, led the movement for the country's independence. Gandhi was deeply committed to the principle of nonviolence, believing that true strength lay not in confronting the enemy with force, but in standing firm with peaceful resistance. To him, the struggle against British rule was not merely political, it was about reclaiming the dignity and freedom of every person. In 1930, Gandhi initiated a bold campaign targeting the salt tax, which he saw as a clear symbol of injustice and oppression. He believed that if Indians could make their own salt without paying the tax, it would deliver a significant blow to British authority and ignite the spirit of resistance among the people. This marked the beginning of the historic Salt March, one of the most significant events in India's fight for independence. On March 12, 1930, Gandhi, along with 78 companions, set out from Sabarmati Ashram in western India. Their destination was the coastal village of Dandi, some 390 kilometers away, where they would defy the British by producing salt. This journey was an act of civil disobedience. As they made their way across barren fields and dusty roads, passing through small villages, the movement began to grow. Initially, only a few joined, but as news of Gandhi's march spread, thousands of people from across India were inspired to join him. They not only walked beside him, but became part of the broader struggle for freedom. The march took 24 days to complete, and with each passing day, the resolve of those participating grew stronger. Throughout the journey, Gandhi spoke often about its deeper meaning, about freedom and the right of every Indian to self-determination. He emphasized that this was not a fight of violence, but one of patience and peaceful resolve. There was no need for weapons. The only requirement was the courage to stand up for the right to live freely and shape one's own destiny. At last, on April 6, 1930, Gandhi and thousands of his supporters reached the shore at Dandi. In a simple yet powerful act, they knelt down and scooped up handfuls of salt from the sand. This seemingly small gesture carried immense significance. It was a declaration of defiance against the British Empire. Holding up the salt, Gandhi proclaimed, "From this moment, the people of India will make their own salt without paying a single penny in tax to the colonialists." This action sparked a wave of civil disobedience across India. Thousands of people along the coasts began producing salt illegally, despite brutal repression by the British authorities. Many were arrested, beaten, and tortured, but the movement continued to grow, drawing the attention and admiration of the world. In the wake of the Salt March, over 60,000 Indians were imprisoned, including Gandhi himself. Yet their sacrifice was not in vain. The unity of the Indian people and pressure from the global community forced the British Empire to negotiate, leading to the eventual independence of India in 1947. Lesson from the story. The story of Gandhi's Salt March offers timeless lessons in the power of non-violent resistance, courage, and unity. At its heart, this historic event was not merely a protest against the oppressive salt tax imposed by British colonial rule, but it symbolized a larger struggle for dignity, justice, and freedom. The simple act of collecting salt, something so basic and vital for survival, became a powerful symbol of defiance and self-reliance. Gandhi's genius lay in choosing salt, a resource everyone needed, to unite people across all classes and castes in their common pursuit of self-governance and justice. As Gandhi himself stated, strength does not come from physical capacity, it comes from an indomitable will. This captures the essence of his non-violent philosophy, where true power lies not in weapons, but in unyielding moral courage. The Salt March teaches us that significant change often begins with small, symbolic acts. Gandhi's defiance of the salt law showed how even an everyday item could become a tool for revolution if wielded with conviction and purpose. This holds a critical lesson for modern life. When we face injustice, we may not need grand actions, but rather steadfastness in doing what is right, no matter how small the steps. As Buddhists say, a jug fills drop by drop. Persistence, patience, and unity can lead to great transformations, much like how the Salt March became a catalyst that shook the foundations of British rule in India. In today's world, this lesson is particularly relevant. We often feel powerless in the face of global challenges, be it climate change, inequality, or systemic oppression. Yet, as Gandhi showed, small acts of resistance and unity can ripple outward and inspire broader movements for change. Each of us has the capacity to contribute to a cause larger than ourselves, whether it's advocating for justice in our communities or supporting global movements for human rights. As Gandhi famously said, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." By aligning our everyday actions with our values, we contribute to the kind of world we hope to create. Furthermore, Gandhi's belief in non-violence, or ahimsa, is a guiding principle for both personal and collective transformation. Rather than responding to conflict with aggression, we can choose peaceful resistance, much like the marchers who followed Gandhi. The strength of non-violence is in its ability to expose the injustice of the oppressor without mirroring their brutality. As Gandhi remarked, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong." In this, there is a profound lesson for all of us, that peace, compassion, and resilience in the face of oppression are the most powerful tools for lasting change. The Salt March remains a vivid reminder that true freedom, whether personal or societal, is achieved through unity, determination, and peaceful resistance. B5. Story number 5. Salt and the Afterlife in Ancient Egypt. The story of Gandhi's Salt March provides enduring insights into the strength of non-violent resistance, courage, and collective effort. At its core, this historic event was more than just opposition to the salt tax imposed by British colonial rule. It stood as a broader symbol of the fight for dignity, justice, and freedom. The seemingly simple act of gathering salt, a basic necessity for life, became a powerful emblem of defiance and self-reliance. Gandhi's brilliance lay in selecting salt, something everyone depended on, as a unifying force, bridging divisions of class and caste in the common quest for self-rule and justice. Gandhi himself said, "Strength does not come from physical capacity, it comes from an indomitable will." This perfectly encapsulates his non-violent philosophy, where true strength is found not in force, but in unwavering moral courage. The Salt March shows us that profound change often starts with small symbolic acts. Gandhi's challenge to the salt law demonstrated how even an ordinary object could be transformed into a revolutionary tool when wielded with conviction and purpose. This lesson is especially important today. In the face of injustice, it's not always grand gestures we need, but the steadfastness to do what is right, no matter how small the steps. As Buddhists say, a jug fills drop by drop. Patience, persistence, and unity can lead to major transformations, just as the Salt March became a turning point that undermined British authority in India. In today's world, this lesson is especially relevant. We may often feel powerless in the face of global challenges such as climate change, inequality, or systemic oppression. But as Gandhi showed, small acts of resistance, when combined with collective unity, can inspire movements that create far-reaching change. Each of us has the potential to contribute to causes bigger than ourselves, whether it's fighting for justice in our local communities or supporting worldwide efforts for human rights. As Gandhi famously said, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." By aligning our everyday actions with our values, we actively contribute to the world we aspire to create. Moreover, Gandhi's principle of non-violence, or ahimsa, serves as a guiding force for both personal and social transformation. Instead of responding to conflict with violence, we can opt for peaceful resistance, much like those who marched alongside Gandhi. The true power of non-violence lies in its ability to reveal the injustice of the oppressor without replicating their cruelty. As Gandhi noted, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong." This teaches us a deep lesson that peace, compassion, and resilience in the face of oppression are the most effective tools for achieving lasting change. The Salt March stands as a powerful reminder that true freedom, whether for an individual or a society, comes through unity, determination, and peaceful resistance. Lesson from the story. The story of salt in ancient Egyptian culture is a fascinating tale that goes far beyond its use as a preservative in the embalming process. For the Egyptians, salt was much more than just a tool for preserving the physical body. It held deep spiritual significance, symbolizing purity, immortality, and the ability to transcend the boundaries of time and death. Salt played a critical role in their belief system, serving as a bridge between the temporal world and the eternal realm. The use of salt in mummification was not merely a practical solution to preserving the body, but was a spiritual act that represented the soul's journey towards the afterlife, a realm where immortality could be achieved. The Egyptians believed that by purifying the body with salt, they were ensuring that the soul could enter the eternal world, free from corruption. This belief reflects a profound reverence for the afterlife and an understanding of life as a continuum, where death was not an end, but a transition to a new existence. In modern life, we often view death with fear and uncertainty, focusing on the end of life rather than on what might follow. Yet the Egyptians' deep faith in the soul's journey reminds us that death is simply part of a larger cycle. This concept is echoed in Buddhism as well, where it is said, "Even death is not to be feared by one who has lived wisely." This perspective encourages us to live with intention, focusing on purity of mind and heart, just as the Egyptians used salt to purify the body. The simple act of using salt in their rituals teaches us that even the most ordinary elements of life can hold profound meaning when viewed through the lens of spirituality. For the Egyptians, salt symbolized a journey beyond the physical, a reminder that life continues in ways that we cannot always see. In today's fast-paced material world, we can take inspiration from this ancient wisdom. Often, we overlook the deeper significance of small, everyday actions, forgetting that our lives are also part of a greater, ongoing journey. By adopting a mindset that values purity, longevity, and the belief in something larger than ourselves, we can find peace and meaning in our daily lives. As the Buddha once said, "Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life." This aligns beautifully with the Egyptians' use of salt, not just for the body, but for the soul's journey to the eternal world. Similarly, in our own lives, cultivating purity of thought and intention can help us navigate challenges, allowing us to move through life with grace and purpose. Thus, the lesson of salt in ancient Egyptian culture is not only a story of embalming and preservation, but one of deeper spiritual significance. It teaches us that life and death are intertwined, and that something as simple as salt can be a powerful symbol of our connection to eternity. In our own lives, let us take this lesson to heart, remembering that our actions, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, can have profound and lasting impacts on our souls and the world around us. By living with intention and purity, we too can transcend the limits of time and death, contributing to a legacy that reaches beyond the physical world. Story number 6. The story of salt in the Bible. In the Bible, salt holds much more than its everyday use as a seasoning or preservative. It carries deep symbolic meanings. One of the most well-known teachings involving salt is when Jesus spoke to his disciples about their role in the world. He used salt as a metaphor to represent purity, durability, and the preservation of goodness. One morning, on a hillside overlooking the Sea of Galilee, Jesus delivered the famous Sermon on the Mount to a large crowd. During this sermon, he told his disciples, "You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its flavor, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot." This statement carries a powerful message about the role and responsibility of each individual in life. In the time of Jesus, salt was a valuable and essential part of daily life. It wasn't just used to enhance the taste of food, but also to preserve it from spoiling, and it symbolized purity in religious rituals. Therefore, Jesus' use of salt as a metaphor was intentional and profound. When he called his disciples, the salt of the earth. He was highlighting their duty to protect and uphold spiritual values in the world. Just as salt preserves food from decay, his disciples were expected to preserve the purity of the community's spiritual life. If salt were to lose its essence, its saltiness, it would be rendered useless, much like a person who has lost their faith and core values. Such salt would no longer serve its purpose and would be discarded. Moreover, salt also represents steadfastness and consistency. No matter how it dissolves in water, salt retains its fundamental quality. It remains salty. Jesus wanted his followers to remain firm in their morals, resisting the temptations and challenges of the world. They were called to uphold their faith and purity, becoming a source of strength and guidance for others, just as salt prevents food from decay. In addition to this, salt appears in many sacred rituals throughout the Bible. Jesus frequently referenced salt in his teachings, using it over 40 times to highlight its importance, not just as a material preservative, but as a symbol of spiritual preservation. Salt was also mixed with water in religious ceremonies to purify objects and people, protecting them from evil. For example, in the Old Testament, when God made a covenant with the Israelites, he required that offerings be presented with salt, symbolizing an eternal covenant. Salt represented stability, unchanging loyalty, and the enduring relationship between God and his people. The lesson of being the salt of the earth serves as a reminder to all of us. No matter our background, we are responsible for preserving and promoting moral values. We are called to be salt for the world, safeguarding and spreading goodness wherever we go. If we lose our saltiness, our faith and integrity, we lose our purpose and cannot fulfill our mission in life. Lesson from the story. The lesson from the story of salt in the Bible teaches us about the importance of maintaining our values, integrity, and faith in the world. Just as salt preserves food and prevents it from spoiling, we are responsible for preserving moral and spiritual goodness in our lives and in our communities. Jesus used the metaphor of salt to remind us that we each have a role to play in protecting and upholding what is good and true. If we lose our saltiness, our core principles and faith, we lose our ability to positively impact others and fulfill our purpose. Additionally, the story emphasizes the need for steadfastness. Just as salt never loses its essential quality, we must remain true to our values despite external pressures or challenges. We are called to be a positive influence, standing strong in our morals and inspiring others to do the same. Ultimately, this lesson encourages us to live with purpose, staying faithful to what is right, and serving as a force for good in the world. Our values, like salt, should not waver. Instead, they should help preserve the well-being of those around us. Thank you for watching this far. If this story has sparked something in you, comment "Preserve Goodness" to show you're dedicated to upholding your values and faith. We've got more insights to share, so stay with us until the end to learn how you can continue to be a source of strength and positivity in the world. Story number 7. Salt in Tears. In a distant corner of ancient Greece, there was a small fishing village that rested peacefully along the shores of a vast, deep blue ocean. The lives of the villagers were intricately tied to the sea, from the rhythmic crashing of waves to the salty breeze that filled the air. For the people, the ocean wasn't just a provider of sustenance, it was a keeper of stories, both joyful and sorrowful, and held mysteries that only those with a true connection to it could grasp. Among the villagers was a man named Stelios, known not only for his expertise in fishing, but for his deep courage and unwavering love for the sea. Stelios spent most of his life sailing in small boats, battling fierce winds and waves to return home with a bountiful catch for his family. Every time he ventured out into the ocean, he carried not only the hopes of a successful journey, but also the worries of his loved ones, who anxiously awaited his return. One fateful voyage, however, would forever change Stelios's life. The sky grew dark, and monstrous waves rose like mountains, battering his boat and crew. Amid the chaos, the sea tore his boat apart, and Stelios was cast into the ocean's fury. When the storm finally calmed, the villagers searched in vain. Stelios had vanished, and they believed the sea had claimed him for good. Stelios's wife, Eleni, stood by the shore day after day, clinging to the hope that some miracle might return her husband to her. But as the days slipped by, her hope began to dim. Each morning, Eleni would walk to the edge of the sea, gaze out over the endless horizon, and shed silent tears. Her tears mingled with the salty waters of the ocean, leaving white salt marks on her skin. Soon, her sorrow became known throughout the village, and people began to call her the Woman of the Sea, as if her very being had merged with the ocean. Eleni's tears weren't just for her own loss. They were for the unforgiving nature of the sea, for the men who had been swallowed by its depths, never to return. One night, under a bright moon, Eleni sat by the shore, feeling the familiar, salty breeze on her skin. Out of the stillness she heard soft footsteps behind her. She turned and to her amazement saw Stelios, the husband she had long believed lost, standing before her, alive but weary. Stelios told her the story of his survival. Swept away by the storm, he had been stranded on a rocky outcrop in the middle of the sea. He survived by catching small fish and shrimp, but there seemed no hope of returning. Then one night, as he gazed toward the distant mainland, something stirred inside him, a force urging him to hold on. He believed that it was Eleni's tears that had called him back. The villagers came to believe that Eleni's tears held more than just sorrow. They saw in them the strength of her spirit, a faith that never faltered, much like the enduring salt of the sea. Her tears became a symbol of resilience, of love that transcends even the greatest of losses. From that time forward, the villagers believed that the tears of those grieving for lost loved ones carried the power of the ocean itself. When these tears mixed with the sea, they became more than a sign of sadness. They were a testament to an unyielding love and determination that could never be washed away. Lesson from the story. The story of Salt in Tears is not merely a tale from ancient times, but it holds within it a deep and timeless message about the enduring power of love and loyalty. In Greek culture, salt has always been seen as more than just a mineral. It is a symbol of preservation, stability, and an unchanging essence. Like the salt that gives life to the sea, Eleni's love for Stelios is unwavering and everlasting, no matter how fierce the storm or how treacherous the waves. This is a profound reminder that love, like salt, retains its purity and strength, no matter the hardships it faces. Eleni's life exemplifies this teaching, for her unwavering love became her spiritual anchor in the face of overwhelming loss. Her tears, rich with the salt of the sea, are not only a symbol of grief, but also a testament to her resilience and belief in the possibility of miracles. The tears that she sheds blend with the ocean, creating a sacred connection between human emotion and the forces of nature. In those moments of profound sorrow, her tears are more than an expression of personal pain. They become part of the sea itself, reflecting the cycle of loss and hope. Just as salt preserves and sustains, Eleni's love preserves the memory of Stelios and sustains her faith that he might return. In this way, the story echoes the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who said, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." Her tears remind us that even in moments of change, loss and uncertainty, love and trust remain the pillars upon which we can build hope for the future. In modern life, this story serves as a powerful metaphor for the relationships and struggles we face, whether in the bonds we share with loved ones or in the challenges we encounter. The story teaches that love and loyalty are forces that can weather any storm. Just as Eleni's tears did not diminish her hope, we too must hold on to faith and resilience when faced with adversity. In a world filled with uncertainty, where relationships are often tested by distance, hardship, or time, the enduring lesson is clear. Love, like salt, does not lose its essence. The strength of character that comes from loving deeply, even in the face of loss, is what connects us to something greater than ourselves. As we navigate our lives, we can take comfort in the fact that true love and loyalty, like the pure grains of salt, remain steadfast, preserving what is most precious to us. Buddha once said, "In the end, these things matter most. How well did you love? How fully did you live? How deeply did you let go?" The story of Eleni and Stelios urges us to live fully, to love deeply, and to trust that even in the darkest of times, love will guide us home. Story number 8. Salt and the creation of the universe in Norse mythology. In the beginning, before the existence of heaven or earth, there was only an infinite void known as Ginnungagap, where ice and fire met. This was the heart of chaos, where the opposing forces of Niflheim, the realm of ice, and Muspelheim, the realm of fire, coexisted. To the north lay Niflheim, a cold, dark land shrouded in mist and ice. From this land, the Elivagar rivers flowed, carrying freezing droplets of water. To the south was Muspelheim, a realm of blazing fire, ruled by the fire giant Surtur. From Muspelheim, scorching sparks shot into the void, generating immense heat. When the fire from Muspelheim met the ice from Niflheim in Ginnungagap, the ice began to melt. From this union of ice and fire, the first brine was formed, and out of this brine a miraculous event occurred. Ymir, the ancestor of all giants, Jötun, came into being. Ymir was the first living being in the universe, created from the fusion of fire and ice. He was enormous and incredibly powerful, and all life in Norse mythology traces its origins back to him. Yet Ymir was not the only creature to emerge from the melting ice and fire. A colossal cow named Audumbla also appeared from the brine. Audumbla played a vital role in Ymir's survival, as her enormous udders provided the nourishing milk that sustained him in his early days. What was particularly fascinating about Audumbla was how she fed herself. She didn't graze on grass or eat food, but instead licked the salty ice blocks of Ginnungagap. With every lick of the ice, something incredible happened. A new form began to take shape. After 3 days of licking, a figure was revealed, Buri, the forefather of the Aesir gods and the grandfather of Odin. Once freed from the ice, Buri became the ancestor of the Aesir, a noble family of gods in Norse mythology. He fathered Bor, who later married Bestla and gave birth to 3 sons, Odin, Vili, and Ve. These 3 gods were the first of the universe, and it was they who went on to create the world we live in today. Before shaping the world, however, Odin, Vili, and Ve had to confront Ymir, the ancestor of the giants, in a mighty battle between the gods and the giants. In this battle, Ymir was slain, and from his massive body, the 3 gods fashioned the universe. Ymir's blood became the sea, his flesh turned into the land, his bones formed the mountains, and his hair became the trees. From Ymir's skull, the gods created the sky. They also used the fire from Muspelheim and the ice from Niflheim to light the heavens, creating the stars, the moon, and the sun, bringing light and life to the world. Though the gods created order, the threat from the giants was not fully eliminated. From Ymir's blood, more giants arose, and they continued to pose a danger to the gods. Thus, the conflict between the Aesir gods and the giants persisted throughout the history of the Norse cosmos. Lesson from the story. The story of the Norse creation myth offers profound lessons about the potential for life and transformation to arise from the most simple and elemental forces, such as salt water, fire, and ice. In this myth, salt takes on a deeper symbolic role beyond its common use, serving as the catalyst for the birth of Ymir, the first giant, and Audumbla, the nurturing cow who helped shape the first gods of the universe. These beings, born from the merging of fire and ice, were instrumental in the creation of the cosmos, illustrating that even from the humblest of beginnings, great power and life can emerge. Salt, often overlooked as just a basic compound, becomes in this story a force of creation, preservation, and transformation. It is through the seemingly ordinary act of Audumbla, licking salt from the ice, that Buri, the ancestor of the Aesir gods, came into existence, ultimately leading to the shaping of the world as we know it. This ancient story resonates with modern life in a powerful way. Just as salt played a transformative role in the Norse myth, we too can find moments in life where small, simple actions lead to profound changes. In our busy world, where many men between the ages of 30 and 65 find themselves navigating careers, family responsibilities, and personal growth, it's important to remember that transformation often comes not from grand gestures, but from steady, simple efforts. Our daily actions, no matter how small, accumulate over time and lead to greater achievements. The story of the creation of the universe from salt, fire, and ice teaches us the value of patience and the immense potential that lies within small, consistent actions. As we apply this wisdom to our lives, it's crucial to see that transformation is possible even in moments of stillness or difficulty. Salt, after all, is also a preservative. It not only brings out the flavor in food, but also preserves life, just as our consistent actions and dedication preserve the dreams and goals we are working toward. Many men in this stage of life may feel that the challenges they face are overwhelming or that progress is slow, but like the ancient Norse gods creating the world from elemental forces, progress is made one step at a time. The Norse myth teaches us that the very forces that seem chaotic, fire and ice, can, when combined, lead to the birth of something extraordinary. In a modern context, this is a reminder that life's challenges, when faced with perseverance, can give rise to new opportunities and growth. Furthermore, the metaphor of salt reminds us of the importance of preservation, not just of life, but of values and relationships. Just as Audumla's nurturing act brought forth the gods, our acts of care, attention, and preservation nurture the important aspects of our own lives. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, we must remember that, like the universe born from the balance of fire and ice, we too are capable of creating harmony and order in our lives. As the Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." This story encourages us to find that inner balance and to trust in the transformative power of small, meaningful actions. In conclusion, the Norse creation story, with its focus on salt, fire, and ice, offers a timeless lesson about the power of transformation and the value of simple, consistent efforts. Whether it's in creating something new or preserving what matters most, this story teaches us that within the most basic elements of life, there is the potential for greatness. Let us take these lessons to heart as we face the challenges of modern life, understanding that even the smallest actions, like the steady lick of salt, can lead to the most profound changes. Story number 9. Salt is more precious than gold. Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there lived a king in a grand palace, along with his 3 beautiful daughters. The king cherished his daughters deeply, considering them his greatest pride and joy. Though each princess had her own unique personality, the king often wondered how they truly felt about him. One day, the king decided to find out. He summoned his daughters to his throne and asked, "My dear children, I wish to know what I mean to you. Tell me, how do you compare your love for me?" The eldest daughter, who was wise and quick-witted, promptly responded, "Father, you are as valuable to me as the finest pearl, the brightest in the world." The king, pleased with her answer, nodded approvingly, for he knew pearls symbolized purity and nobility. The second daughter, gentle and tender-hearted, said, "Father, to me, you are as precious as a diamond, the hardest and most brilliant stone that cannot be destroyed." The king smiled warmly at her reply, understanding that diamonds represented strength and eternal value. Finally, it was the turn of the youngest daughter, the smallest but most kind-hearted of all. She looked at her father with sincerity and softly said, "Father, to me, you are more precious than salt." The king's face immediately darkened. He couldn't hide his shock and disappointment. To him, salt was nothing more than a common, everyday substance, far inferior to the likes of pearls or diamonds. He felt her comparison was disrespectful and undeserving of his love. Overcome with anger, the king ordered his youngest daughter to leave the palace, giving her no opportunity to explain. Heartbroken and in tears, the young princess left the palace and wandered alone, her sorrow deepening with each step. As time went on, a sudden calamity befell the kingdom. Salt, a vital ingredient for daily life, mysteriously vanished. No one could find it anywhere in the land. Without salt, food became bland, and life gradually lost its flavor and joy. The people grew frustrated, longing for the delicious meals they had once enjoyed. Even the king, despite his opulent lifestyle in the grand palace, could not escape the effects of the salt shortage. The once exquisite dishes served at royal banquets now tasted dull and lifeless. Lavish feasts no longer brought him satisfaction. The king began to realize that no amount of gold, silver, jewels, or diamonds could make up for the absence of salt. Only then did he grasp the true significance of his youngest daughter's words. He came to understand that though humble, salt was indispensable in life. Its simplicity belied its great importance, much like the quiet yet profound love his daughter had for him. Unlike pearls or diamonds, her love wasn't extravagant, but it was sincere, steadfast, and essential, sustaining life in ways that went unnoticed until it was missed. Overwhelmed with regret, the king ordered his soldiers to search far and wide for his youngest daughter, hoping to right his wrongs and beg for her forgiveness. After many days of searching, they found her living peacefully in a small village near the kingdom's border. She had been embraced by the villagers for her kindness and wisdom. When the king saw her again, he rushed to embrace her, tears in his eyes. "My dear child," he said, "I now understand. Salt may seem ordinary, but it is essential. Your love for me is like salt, quiet, unadorned, but enduring and vital. Please forgive me for not seeing this sooner." The youngest princess smiled warmly and said, "Father, my love has always been here, whether you recognized it or not. Just as salt is always part of the ocean, my love for you has never wavered." The king was deeply moved. From that day forward, he treasured his daughter's love and understood that the simple, genuine things in life often hold far greater value than those that only shine on the surface. As time went on, a sudden calamity befell the kingdom. Salt, a vital ingredient for daily life, mysteriously vanished. No one could find it anywhere in the land. Without salt, food became bland, and life gradually lost its flavor and joy. The people grew frustrated, longing for the delicious meals they had once enjoyed. Even the king, despite his opulent lifestyle in the grand palace, could not escape the effects of the salt shortage. The once exquisite dishes served at royal banquets now tasted dull and lifeless. Lavish feasts no longer brought him satisfaction. The king began to realize that no amount of gold, silver, jewels, or diamonds could make up for the absence of salt. Only then did he grasp the true significance of his youngest daughter's words. He came to understand that, though humble, salt was indispensable in life. Its simplicity belied its great importance, much like the quiet yet profound love his daughter had for him. Unlike pearls or diamonds, her love wasn't extravagant, but it was sincere, steadfast, and essential, sustaining life in ways that went unnoticed until it was missed. Overwhelmed with regret, the king ordered his soldiers to search far and wide for his youngest daughter, hoping to right his wrongs and beg for her forgiveness. After many days of searching, they found her living peacefully in a small village near the kingdom's border. She had been embraced by the villagers for her kindness and wisdom. Lesson from the story. The story of salt is more precious than gold carries a powerful lesson that resonates deeply with how we view value and worth in our lives. It teaches us that true value is not always found in what is glittering or glamorous. Often, it is the simple, humble things, like salt, that hold the greatest power. Salt, though small and ordinary, is indispensable to life, much like true love, which does not need to be loudly displayed to have meaning. True love, much like salt, quietly enriches and sustains us every day, offering a steady, nurturing presence that we often take for granted. The same principle applies to our homes and the energy we create within them. In a world where we chase after wealth, status, and external success, we often overlook the quiet yet powerful elements that bring harmony, peace, and prosperity into our lives. As Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think you become." This reminds us that our inner world, our thoughts, and the energy we cultivate shapes the environment around us. Transforming your home's energy begins with focusing on simplicity and intention rather than extravagance. Simple steps like decluttering, introducing natural elements, or creating spaces for calm reflection can invite prosperity and harmony. Prosperity is not just about material wealth. It's about creating a space where joy, peace, and contentment can flourish. Just as salt enhances the flavor of food without drawing attention to itself, small changes in our home, made with love and mindfulness, can enrich our lives without needing to be showy. The key is to understand that true abundance is often found in simplicity. As you work to transform your home's energy, remember that it's the unseen forces, peace, love, and balance, that create the foundation for lasting prosperity. Just like in the story, where salt is a quiet but vital presence, you can nurture an atmosphere of harmony by valuing what is essential over what is merely impressive. In modern life, where distractions are many, take a step back and focus on what truly nourishes your spirit and your home, because in the end, it's the simple and consistent elements that sustain us, just as love and salt do every day. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today's video on the journey of wisdom. I truly hope the 3 methods we explored from Zen stories and Buddhist teachings offer you new insights and practical ways to bring peace, abundance, and clarity into your life. These teachings are not just ancient wisdom, they are living practices that, when applied consistently, can transform your perspective and enrich your journey, not just for today, but for decades to come. Imagine, 50 years from now, looking back and realizing how these small, mindful steps have shaped your life in ways you couldn't have imagined. The beauty of these teachings is that they remind us that the true power to cultivate inner peace, success, and fulfillment lies within us. If you found today's video meaningful, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on how you can apply these practices in your daily life. Whether it's through mindfulness, compassion, or the power of intention, these methods are simple but profound tools that can help you navigate life's challenges with greater ease and wisdom. Now, I have a favor to ask. If you enjoyed this video and feel it could benefit others, please like it and share it with those who might also find value in these teachings. Your support helps this community grow, and together we can spread these messages of peace and balance to more people who need them. And don't forget to subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom and click the notification bell so that you never miss our future content. We have many more enlightening stories, practical advice, and deep dives into Buddhist philosophy coming up, and I'd love for you to be a part of this journey with us. Thank you again for watching, for your presence, and for your commitment to your own path of wisdom and growth. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, may you continue to walk your path with mindfulness, compassion, and peace.